In the grim darkness of the far future, there is no rest, even in death. He was once a hero of his chapter, a warrior whose name carried honor and fire. Now he is something else, something greater, something less, bound within the cold shell of an ancient war machine. A legendary space marine awakens to the call of battle again and again. Through centuries, through wars, through silence. What remains of the man beneath the armor must face not only the enemies of the Imperium, but the slow erosion of self beneath endless duty. From the smoke-choked ruins of forgotten worlds to the steel-echoing halls of the Mechanicus, the Entombed is a haunting and brutal journey through memory, faith, and the cost of eternal war.
Wake, Brother Orpheon.
The words are distant at first, a metallic echo reverberating through the void. The sound carries weight, not like a voice, but like the grinding of tectonic plates beneath the surface of a dying world. Orpheon's mind flickers into existence like the activation of an ancient cogitator, slow and incomplete. The first sensation is a hollow hum, a cold vibration crawling beneath his thoughts, filling the cavernous emptiness where his body should be. His mind stirs sluggishly against the darkness, pushing through the fog. Where? What? Why? A flood of sound assaults him, servo feedback and the hum of power conduits running through his limbs, pressure seals engaging, hydraulic fluid coursing through metal veins, the distant growl of a machine spirit stirring alongside him, a presence, alien yet familiar, lurking beneath the threshold of his consciousness. His body feels, no, not his body, it's not his.
Your vitals are stabilizing.
The voice cuts through the static, calm, even. A figure stands in the half-light beyond his distorted vision, crimson and silver plate reflecting the lumen strips lining the sarcophagus chamber. An augmented helm tilts slightly toward him. A hand rests on the edge of the tomb's control panel. Brother Vitron. Memory flickers. Assault dropship. Impact. The shock of bone breaking beneath ceramite. The smell of burning blood and ion discharge. Falling. Falling. And then silence.
Your transition is proceeding as expected.
Vitron's voice is measured, clinical.
Your functions are intact. Neural pathways stable. Power conduits linked.
His helmet lenses glow faintly as he studies the readings across the tomb's control interface.
You will adapt in time.
Orpheon tries to move. His limbs are heavy, alien. The resistance is immediate. His right arm twitches, and the groaning of servo motors fills the chamber. His head tilts, the feed from his optics lagging behind his intention to move. His limbs are leaden, his mind struggling to command them. This isn't right. He tries again, his left arm this time, but the feedback from the machine spirit pulses back through him, halting him mid-motion. The signal is overwhelming, almost invasive, as though something else is fighting for control of his own body. Not his body, no, not his. Orpheon's voice strains to emerge, but what comes is a low, distorted growl, vox-filtered and mechanical.
Where am I?
Vitron's gaze does not shift.
In the Reclusium, your internment was successful. You are intact.
What have you done to me?
The apothecaries recovered what they could.
Vitron's hand brushes the edge of the sarcophagus.
Your wounds were mortal. There was nothing left to save.
Orpheon's mind surges against the words. Nothing left to save. The pain, the death that should have come. He should have died. He should be dead. But he is not. He tries to rise, the thrum of power rippling through his limbs, but his right leg does not respond. His body shifts unevenly, and the machine itself resists. He growls, metal grinding on metal. The sound makes the tech marines stir.
You will adjust.
Vitron says. Orpheon's vox speaker cracks as he speaks.
Take it off.
You have been granted a great honor.
Vitron's tone does not change. A second figure steps into Orpheon's blurred periphery. Another tech marine. Servo claws clicking in the low light. Reverent, almost prayerful. Incense burns from small vents in the chamber, mixing with the cold, chemical scent of machine oil. A ritual of awakening.
I didn't ask for this.
You were not given a choice.
Orpheon's metal limbs twitch involuntarily. His vision stabilizes, the augmented feeds aligning with his mind. The machine spirit's presence brushes up against his thoughts again. A cold, mechanized instinct that does not belong to him, that will never belong to him. His hands. He looks down at them, or rather, at the monstrous forms that now serve as his hands. 2 assault fists, massive and brutal, adorned with purity seals and sacred inscriptions, sanctified relics of the chapter. These hands are not his. They move when he wills them to. They move when the machine spirit wills them to. His breathing accelerates, or it should, but his chest does not rise, his body does not respond. He is aware now of the hollow echo within his chest, the absence of lungs, the absence of breath, the feeling of nothing, and his hands close into fists. The servos strain against his control. He feels the pressure, but not the sensation. His mind rebels against the disconnect. His limbs obey, but there is no tactile response, no human recognition of muscle or tension, only motion.
Accept this gift,
says one of the other tech marines. His voice is hollow beneath his vox grill.
You are no longer bound by flesh. You are eternal now.
Orpheon tilts toward him, the slow grinding of his servos filling the air like the sound of shifting stone. He speaks, and the growl beneath his words is almost a threat.
This is not a gift.
You live.
Vitron replies, there is no malice, only quiet acceptance.
That is more than most.
Orpheon's fists tighten. The machine spirit stirs, subtle but present. His vision darkens at the edges as the tech marines key the sarcophagus into stasis mode. He feels the power dimming, his systems slowing.
You will understand in time,
Vitron says softly. Orpheon's optics dim. He hears the final rites spoken above him, the cold words of the Omnissiah's blessing. The shadows of his tech marines stand over him, reverent. His mind drifts at the edges. A final thought cuts through the darkness as his systems descend into low power mode. This is not life. This is not honor. He has become a dreadnought, and it is now his tomb. A pulse of red light flickers across his vision slit. Orpheon's thoughts stir reluctantly, his mind dragging itself through the dull resistance of the machine. His consciousness flickers weakly, scraping against the edges of awareness. The sarcophagus hums around him, a deep mechanical thrum that resonates through the ceramite plating of his war machine body. No breath, no heartbeat. His mind senses absence.
You are stabilizing,
says a voice. Calm, measured. Orpheon's vision slit swims into focus. The chamber is dim, lit only by the red haze of lumen strips lining the reclusium's walls. Heavy incense chokes the air, curling in thick coils beneath the flickering votive candles placed reverently at the base of the sarcophagus. His optics align, sharpening on the figure standing before him. Vitron. The tech marine stands at the foot of the Dreadnought, his crimson plate dulled beneath the haze of burning oil. His bionic eye pulses faintly with the green light of data streams, feeding him the readings from the sarcophagus. His left gauntlet rests lightly on the console beneath Orpheon's massive frame, fingers adjusting the control runes with practiced ease. Orpheon tries to move. The response is sluggish. His left arm shifts fractionally before locking up, the machine's servos grinding beneath the attempt. He tries again, focusing his thoughts toward the movement, his mind reaching for the connection to his limbs, but the signal feels muted, wrong, delayed. His right arm responds this time, a brief twitch, a grinding jerk as the hydraulics compensate for the imbalance. His colossal assault fist flexes, the adamantium plates closing with a hollow clunk. The motion is unnatural, alien. He feels the movement, but he doesn't feel it. No muscle tension, no burn of exertion, only cold compliance.
Control pathways are still calibrating.
Vitron says, his tone is steady, devoid of emotion.
It will take time.
Orpheon's fists clench. The servos growl in protest beneath the pressure. His body is slow, unresponsive, but the machine spirit stirs beneath it, a flicker of awareness beneath his own thoughts. It pulses against his mind, like an intrusive whisper, alien and cold. A low growl emerges from his Vox speakers.
This is wrong.
Vitron's gaze rises toward him. His face remains impassive beneath the crimson light of the lumen strips.
It is new.
No,
Orpheon's voice distorts beneath the crackling of his Vox.
not to me.
Vitron steps closer, his gauntlet resting against the base of the sarcophagus. His gaze settles just beneath Orpheon's vision slit. The reflective gleam of his bionic eye pulses faintly.
You are connected to the sarcophagus. Your neural pathways are fused to the war machine. You and the machine are now one.
This is not union.
Orpheon's fists close again. The sound is hollow, the sensation artificial.
This is imprisonment.
Vitron's expression does not change, but Orpheon detects the subtle edge of tension beneath his voice. A thin shadow of something like regret.
You will adjust.
Vitron says. Orpheon's vision narrows, the edges of his optics bleeding red static.
Why?
Vitron's bionic eye pulses.
Why did you not let me die?
The air thickens. The other tech marines along the perimeter of the chamber lower their gaze. The votive candles flicker beneath the dull pressure of the ventilation systems. The scent of burning oils and machine lubricant mixes with the dry sterility of recycled oxygen. Vitron does not look away.
Because you are too valuable to lose.
Orpheon's servo motors hiss beneath the pressure of his closing fists. The machine spirit's presence pulses again beneath his thoughts. Reactive, coiled beneath the surface. Heat bleeds into his awareness. A mechanical translation of muscle tension that no longer exists. His voice emerges low, bitter beneath the growl of his Vox.
I was not a relic to be preserved.
No.
Vitron's tone darkens, his gaze steady.
You were a weapon, and weapons are reforged.
The machine spirit shifts within him, a subtle pressure at the edges of his mind. He feels it attempting to align with his thoughts, to connect, to synchronize. His mind resists. His limbs tremble beneath the interference.
I am not just a weapon.
A weapon does not feel fear or grief.
Vitron's tone lowers, almost soft. He steps closer.
You are still Orpheon. The flesh has passed, but the mind remains.
Orpheon's thoughts scatter beneath the weight of the contradiction. His mind rebels. He feels the cold feedback loop between his thoughts and the machine spirit. His limbs respond to instinct, but not feeling. His mind commands, but does not inhabit. He tries to breathe. He cannot. There is no breath, no heartbeat, only silence beneath the hum of the war machine.
I cannot feel.
Orpheon's vox speaker distorts beneath the rising static.
I cannot remember what it was to feel.
You will.
Vitron says. His voice is low but steady.
In time.
I don't want time.
Vitron's hand rises toward the control panel. His gauntlet brushes the activation rune. Orpheon's systems flicker beneath the data stream, a low rumble of power cycling down through his frame.
I didn't ask for this.
Orpheon growls. His fists twitch against the pull of the shutdown sequence.
You were not given a choice.
The systems pulse beneath him. The machine spirit hums softly beneath his thoughts. His limbs grow heavier beneath the low-pressure cycle. His mind scrambles against the pull of sleep.
No.
His limbs jerk against the failing power, his fists grinding against the edge of his chassis.
No.
It's time to rest.
Vitron's hand lowers. The activation rune pulses beneath his palm. The hum of power begins to fade. Orpheon's thoughts flicker, struggling against the closing of the cycle. His limbs grow sluggish beneath the draw of the sarcophagus sleep protocols. His vision darkens at the edges.
You will wake again.
Vitron says softly. Orpheon's thoughts splinter beneath the pull of sleep. The edges of his awareness crumble. His vision narrows to a thin slit of red static. His last thought hangs at the edge of his dying awareness. I do not want to wake again, and then there is nothing. The chamber hums with the quiet sound of dying power conduits. Orpheon's optics flicker weakly within the narrow slit of his vision field, his awareness hovering just beneath the threshold of full cognition. His limbs hang in mechanical suspension, weightless, unresponsive, slack beneath the low-power standby protocols of his sarcophagus. The silence is unbearable. Then footsteps, slow and measured, the sound of armored boots against polished steel. The edge of his optics glows faintly as his vision stabilizes, aligning once more to the dim red haze of the Reclusiam's lumen strips. Vitron stands before him. The Techmarine's face is shadowed beneath the low light, his crimson plate illuminated faintly by the glow of the control console at his side. His gauntlets are bare, ceramite gloves removed, exposing the augmetic wiring beneath his fingers as he calibrates the sarcophagus's hibernation protocols. Orpheon feels the subtle pulse of the machine spirit beneath his thoughts, a low thrum of coiled energy humming beneath the surface of his mind. It's muted now, distant, already receding beneath the low pressure of the sleep cycle.
I will be engaging the deep sleep protocols shortly,
Vitron says. His voice is calm, almost gentle.
Once the stasis field engages, you will not wake for some time.
Orpheon's optics pulse faintly. His thoughts flicker.
How long?
Vitron's gaze meets his. The bionic eye pulses with pale green light.
Years.
A pause.
Perhaps centuries.
Centuries. Orpheon's thoughts fray at the edges. His fists tighten, the servo feedback translating into cold pressure beneath his machine frame. He processes the weight of it slowly, the span of time, the erosion of memory, the inevitable loss that will come with it.
And when I wake?
Orpheon asks.
You will fight.
A distant vibration coils through the machine plate beneath him. The sound of stabilizers recalibrating. The pressure of the sarcophagus's fluid systems hiss beneath the mounting preparation cycle. Orpheon's thoughts slide toward the edge of unease.
This is not rest.
No,
Vitron agrees.
it is not.
The other tech marines are gone now. Only Vitron remains, standing beneath the towering frame of Orpheon's war machine body. A quiet tension lingers beneath the surface of his voice, something unspoken, something heavy. Orpheon's vox speaker crackles.
What if I forget?
Vitron's gaze steadies. His bionic eye pulses with reflected light.
You will.
A silence passes between them. Orpheon's thoughts cycle beneath the pressure of the machine spirit, his mind scraping against the inevitability of it. The future stretching forward, a long broken thread of awakening and forgetting. Battle after battle, sleep after sleep. The slow erosion of self beneath the relentless weight of war. Orpheon growls low beneath his breath.
Then what will be left?
Vitron's voice softens.
Only purpose.
Orpheon's fists unclench. The resistance in his limbs fades beneath the settling weight of the machine spirit's influence. His thoughts drift. His mind lingers at the edge of the moment. He feels the dark pull of the deep sleep protocols, already pressing at the boundaries of his consciousness. Vitron steps closer. His bare hand touches the edge of the sarcophagus's control panel. His expression hardens beneath the pale glow of the lumen lights.
You fought to protect your brothers.
Vitron says quietly.
That part of you remains.
Orpheon's thoughts reel beneath the statement. He feels the distant echo of memory, the brief flicker of faces, voices, half-formed recollections blurred at the edges. His brothers, the last battle, the moment before death, the death that never came.
I didn't ask for this.
Orpheon growls.
I know.
A pause.
I would have let you die
Vitron says quietly.
if it had been my choice.
Orpheon's thoughts recoil beneath the weight of the statement. His optics pulse faintly beneath the red light of the chamber.
But it wasn't my choice.
Vitron continues, his gaze darkens.
And now you must carry this.
Orpheon's thoughts drift. His awareness spirals beneath the dark pull of the sleep protocols. He feels the presence of the machine spirit unraveling beneath the cooling pressure of the sarcophagus's hydraulic systems.
I don't want this.
Orpheon says.
I know.
Vitron replies. His hand lowers toward the primary interface, activating the final stage of the sleep cycle.
That is why I am sorry.
Orpheon's vision darkens at the edges. His limbs grow slack beneath the rising weight of the suspension systems. A low hum pulses beneath his frame. The soft, rhythmic compression of stabilizers sealing the sarcophagus's internal structure. Vitron's voice is low.
Rest now, brother.
Orpheon's optics flicker. His thoughts thin beneath the mounting tide of static. The presence of the machine spirit fades, unraveling beneath the pressure of neural disconnection. And then, silence, darkness. A slow, numbing descent into oblivion. Time dissolves. There is no measure of it, no tether to memory, no linear passage of thought. He floats beneath the current of unconsciousness, weightless and without anchor. His mind sinks deeper, spiraling beneath the pressure of the sarcophagus's protocols. His thoughts stretch into nothingness. The silence becomes endless. The self unravels. Memory fades. There is no sense of self now. No thought. No presence. He is gone. Lost beneath the black tide. Floating in the deep quiet. And then, without warning, he wakes. A violent surge of light and sound explodes across his consciousness. His optics burn with the sudden overload of sensory input. Pressure crashes through his limbs. His limbs respond before thought aligns. The machine spirit screams beneath his mind. Alert, orbital descent engaged. Data floods into his mind, piercing his thoughts like spikes of iron. His vision is blinding white light, distorted by the atmospheric friction of re-entry. His limbs lock into position. Targeting data floods his neural links, triangulated markers, heat signatures, enemy formations. Objective: exterminate. His sarcophagus burns beneath the pressure of gravitational descent. External plating glows red-hot beneath the friction of atmosphere. Thunder shakes the chamber. Red warning lights pulse across his vision. Armor integrity at 87%. Plasma core stabilizing. Orbital drop estimated impact 00:08 seconds. He crashes through the atmosphere like a meteor. The pull of gravity tears at his frame, vibrating through his limbs. The machine spirit roars beneath the interface, aligning his thoughts with combat algorithms. The ground rushes toward him. The transmission hums beneath the signal stream. Data aligning. Orders received. Targets confirmed. The neural links burn beneath the force of alignment. His mind strains beneath the sudden clarity of purpose. Orphean's fists flex. Servo motors lock into position. Hydraulic stabilizers engage. 4 seconds. The battlefield stretches below him. Dark smoke, blinding light. A storm of enemy heat signatures converging on friendly coordinates. 3 seconds. Orphean's mind sharpens. The fog of sleep dissolves beneath the clean precision of war. 2 seconds. His limbs are not heavy now. They are weightless. His targeting systems align. His assault fists flex beneath the surge of power. 1 second. Impact. The ground erupts beneath the force of his descent. Stone and soil scatter beneath the shockwave. Orpheon rises, his twin assault fists raised beneath the glare of orbital fire. His optics sharpen beneath the battlefield haze. For the chapter. And then he charges.
Alright, and that was the Iron Shroud, or whatever name I end up giving it, I'm not really sure. I hope you guys liked it. Please like, comment, subscribe. I know it's been a long, hot minute. I've just been kind of busy and other reasons and stuff. It is what it is. I'm trying to upload more often. I have a couple stories in the works, so stay tuned for that. I hope you guys liked it. Stay tuned for commentary at the end. Otherwise, I will see you in the next story. Have a good night. Have a good day. Afternoon. Whatever. And, yeah, I hope you guys liked it. It's one of 3 parts. It'll be about an hour and a half, and it's once it's done. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Okay, so those of you that stuck around for the commentary for some reason, I don't actually have a ton to say right now because I want you to hear the other 2 parts, or well, the next part specifically. I have a lot to say on the next part because it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, and I am too lazy to go back. And you gotta understand, all these videos, all these stories, I'm writing them extremely sporadically. I am writing multiple stories at one time. I'll switch from like doing one story for like 30 minutes, and then switch to another story, and do wherever I left off at, and I'll stop at like random times, and it's just kind of a confusing mess is what I'm trying to get across. And then all of them are all of them, every single one of these stories are rough drafts. I do not go back. Well, I do go back and edit them if I really feel like I need to. But otherwise, it is what it is. These stories are not perfect. I'm writing for fun. I don't really know how else to put it. So that's kind of why I have like a lot of things to say about these stories, because they're not final, right? It's not a final draft. None of these stories are final drafts. They're all just, I wrote it, I moved on, I wrote it again, I moved on. Right, so that's kind of how it works, and that's just the way that I write, because I can't stay focused on one thing at a time. Okay, but now that that whole rant is over, this story I really tried to. I don't see a lot of stories actually about dreadnoughts, and so that's what first made me wanna kind of do this one. But then the stories that I do hear about dreadnoughts, I'll be honest, the most recognizable is from the Dawn of War series, with Captain Thule or whatever. And when he was interned in the Dreadnought, and he was in the story and everything, and he was like alive, he was like a character, he was like there and stuff. And I've always kind of wondered, like, I know that chapters, some of them revere their dreadnoughts, right? Some of them use them for wisdom. Sometimes they keep them active for long durations of times. And I kind of wanted to take it as like, what if a chapter was had less empathy, right? Like had less, empathy. And they mostly use their dreadnoughts as as tools, right? As weapons. And I was kind of thinking about how depressing and sad that life would be. If I'm being honest, right? That's kind of where the inspiration came from, and I wanted to make like a somber, like just a different, not like, there's action. There's no action in this first part, obviously. There's action in the second part and third part, but this part was mainly just the build-up, the realization, the understanding like the deep sleep and stuff, and how he has to go into that, and then the immediate, just like, again, they use him as a weapon, so he doesn't even get like, it's an emergency or something, or it's a pre-thought out strategy to launch him at this location at that time, right, while they're in combat, the chapter's in combat doing something, and what the chapter's doing, who they're fighting, all that kind of stuff is really irrelevant to the story, because I'm really just trying to get across the Dreadnought's orphans, his whole mindset around it, and it's like you're with him the whole time, right? So you experience everything that he experiences, and everything that he doesn't experience, you obviously don't experience either. So from his perspective, he was just dropped down from orbit after sleeping for who knows how long. He could have been asleep for 5 years, 10 years, 20, who knows. And then he's immediately launched down into combat. He's immediately uploaded with everything he needs to know. So he's like lightning fast on the draw, good to go. And then he knows exactly what to do, and he goes out and he does it. But he doesn't really, again, I want to talk more about it because it's a lot. I want to talk more about the second part, and I don't want to like ruin anything. Not that it's a crazy story or something. I'm sure you already know where it's going, but whatever. I'm gonna pause here and just leave the rest of the commentary for the second part, because I got a lot to say about that. And this part was really just the build-up, the acknowledgement that he's a dreadnought, the perspective, right? Introduction to the two side characters, and then him getting ready to go on live his life as a dreadnought, essentially. That's kind of the ending, right? Like, that's his role, right? He goes into a deep sleep, He wakes up, he does combat. He goes into a deep sleep, he wakes up, he does combat. Right? Over and over and over again until he died. And that's the whole point of the story. So, I hope you liked it. The voice generation wasn't super perfect with this one. It was kind of hard to do Orphan's voice. Orphane, I haven't really decided on how to pronounce his name. I like Orphan, so. Yeah. The other two characters were a lot easier to do. And obviously the narrator's fine. Although there was a couple hiccups with the narrator on this voice generation too. So there's that. But overall, I think it's acceptable. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you for sticking around for the commentary and listening to my ramblings. I'm sure it was super fun and enlightening. Yeah, what else? I don't know. More stories coming. I'm gonna finish that homunculus one after I release all 3 parts of this one and the full version. I'll release the full version of the homunculus, or the second part of the homunculus, and then the full version. And then I have another story that was really based around, it's a prison, right? It's kind of like I love Andor, the show, and there in the first season there's this prison that Andor goes to. Is that his name? No, his name's Cassian Andor. Yeah, he goes to it, and it's like this whole 2-3 episode arc or something, and it's so good and gritty and great. You should go watch it. And I have a story that's similar to that, but like way more grimdark, and not so Star Warsy. And then there's another story that I'm writing that's more of like a war story where the Imperial Guard and the Space Marines are kind of butting heads against an enemy and how to defeat them, while there's this underlying, mystery kind of going on. Obviously, I don't want to ruin anything. And then I have another story that is more of like a cyberpunk feel. Like, think neon lights, right? Like yellow umbrellas and like translucent shit and stuff. That story's slowly coming along. I'm liking it though so far. Probably more than any of the other ones. It's the most fun to write right now. Just because it's like a detective noir, like mystery type of thing, right? And it's kind of fun. And it has the Dark Mechanicus in it, which I fucking love. And I really want to start writing more about them. Because I love writing the Mechanicus, and the Dark Mechanicus is just, that cherry on top. Like, you just get extra stuff to do. So, there's that. Thank you for sticking around for so long. Again, my ramblings are very enlightening, I'm sure. But yeah, okay. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you in the next video. I hope. And if not, don't write me a meme. No, okay. Thank you so much. I know I've been away for a while, but just things have been difficult. Alright. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good night. Good afternoon. Have a nice morning. Goodbye. Talk to you soon.